You are now listening to the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time at BringDownTheBand.com, and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You're now tuned in to the new Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. My computer's working well. Again, I did not want to make Terry mad, so I'm going to try to stop saying that at some point. We got the crew in the building. My man, to my left, as I look at the screen, my man Lonegevity. How are you, sir?
What's up, man? I'm doing all right. How you living?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. Good to see you. Hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Am I still here?
Yep. I'm doing all right, man.
Good. I see you combing that beard. I see you. That swag.
It's growing.
It's growing. I see you. Let's see at the top corner. I got my man Johnny Quest for sure. My man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations. What's going on?
That cup there you got on your desk there, brother.
Yeah, I got it's back again. I see you still burning that midnight oil in the back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My internet won't be cut on until sometime next week. So, and my mom's right now burning that midnight oil, as I can see over my shoulder. Back fresh to death, ready to party, my man Jay Moore. How are you, sir?
I'm actually really good, man. Like a couple weeks ago, when I was on the show, I was starting to feel a little bit of something, and just for everybody's health and well-being, I was feeling better last Tuesday, but we just got to look out for others during this time, and so luckily DJ Metronome came in to pinch hit, and he did a great job. So glad he could do that, but glad to be back on the show, man, and feeling good. Got a nice workout.
We are glad.
Good.
Okay. Well, we're glad to have you back, brother. Glad that you're feeling better. You sound better. You sound good. So health as well. So we want to make sure that everything is okay with you. We're glad to have you back with the crew.
Yeah, Terry broke a glass.
Did he?
I did what?
No,
I hope if he
the
did.
Comment says who broke a glass.
As long as you don't break the new Old Heads guy. That was probably Terry. Unlikely. Let's see. Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get it popping for 194. Okay. So, Mr. West is back in the news.
Joy
is apparently prepared to run for president. He says that we must now realize the promise of America, trusting God, unifying our vision, and building on what I'm misquoting our future. I'm running for president of the United States, 2020 vision. Now, Kanye has failed to register as an independent candidate in North Carolina by March 3rd, May 11th for Texas, 26th of May for New York. He has also missed the deadline for Maine, which was June 1st. New Mexico, the 25th of June. Indiana, which requires independent candidates to register by June 30th. However, he's still eligible to register for South Carolina, Florida, Missouri, Colorado, and Michigan. Those deadlines fall in July. So, all of this pretty much gives me a headache because I just think this is like the fact that running for president has become like a wave, like that bothers me. Like, it's just like, yo, I'm just gonna run for president. Kind of weird, but whatever. Here's my question to you all. I'll come to you first, Lone. So Kanye running for president, is this a distraction, quote unquote, from a political standpoint, or is this just marketing? Talk to me.
It's both. I think it's both. Okay. When have we known Kanye to not do anything that wasn't marketing something?
We haven't.
So I do think there's that angle, but it's also a major distraction. It doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense to register yourself or to declare that you're going to run for president like 4 or 5 months before voting's out, right in the heat of a battle between two pieces of trash, but still, it's I don't know. I think it's a distraction. It's unfortunate. I think there's lots of conspiracy theories behind why it's happening right now, and I'm curious honestly, I don't have any like solid guesses on if they're true or not, but some people say it's because he wants to split Biden's vote because he's winning. Some say it's some other things. I do think that the potential is there for him to get Biden voters. I've already seen it actually pop up on my timeline. People say, "Yeah, I'll vote for Kanye." Like, oh, joy.
Isn't that scary? Like people can say that easily. Does that bother you?
Yeah, it bothers me a lot. You know, people just don't care.
Okay. I thought I was
it's like it's one of those things like you can hate the political process, but you have to realize that the political process is still important, you know. And if you don't engage in it or you don't take it seriously, then, you know, that voting for president is not just about the president. You know, like Trump can executive order the hell out of everything, which he has. He can assign Supreme Court judges. Is that what he can do?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he has done.
Yeah, he can do that.
But more importantly, he assigns, and this is what a lot of people have it's got lost in the sauce. 1/4 of all of the federal judges in America have been appointed by Donald Trump. 1 in 4, and those are lifetime appointments. He has done irreparable damage to the federal court system by putting people on a lifetime appointment who aren't even seen as fit lawyers by the American Bar Association. That used to be the bare minimum. You know, does the American Bar Association see you as a competent attorney? And at this point, they're not even giving their blessing or recommendation to the people that he nominates. So he's putting people on the bench who have never even tried a case. Right. So when people talk about oh, it doesn't matter who's there. Oh, it does matter, because when it comes down to a lot of these cases that are in your state appellate courts and in your there go before a federal magistrate, this is where the rubber really meets the road. Everyone's so worried about, you know, what happens, you know, oh, the Supreme Court. And yes, that's very important, but you have to have a clear understanding that right now, 1/4, like I said, 1/4, 1 in 4 federal judges has been appointed by Donald Trump. That's largely why he still has so much support among his Republican constituents, because he is doing their bidding by putting people on the federal bench that will do whatever the GOP says.
I didn't even know. I didn't know the 1 out of 4.
And so when people say it doesn't matter, like, you have to have a clear understanding that it's not just about a personality. That's why I wasn't excited about Hillary, but, you know, you have to look at platforms, not people. You know, I'm not excited about Biden, but I'm looking at his platform and the things that he would be willing to do on behalf of his constituency. And you have to think about that instead of just going, like, that's why Donald Trump won the first time. Like, people held their noses and said, okay, I know this guy's not really a Christian. He's not even really a Republican, but he's going to get in here and do exactly what we want him to do. He held up the very conservative culture war agenda that the GOP has been trying to really make mainstream since the mid-90s when they were fighting against Bill Clinton. And they came out with the Contract on America. You got to do your Googles on that. But like,
it's all messed up.
That's why Donald Trump still. That's why he still has so much influence.
Yeah,
it's messed up on both ends, and that's why somebody like Kanye West can come in and say that I'm going to run for president for 2020. Mind you, there's a few months left before the election actually hits, because you have people on the Democratic side that have done nothing. They haven't given us, in my opinion, the denomination that we have. I'm going to support them. I'm not even saying I'm a Democrat. I'm cool off Trump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they've had years of formulate a plan to come up with something that's going to combat Trump, and this is where we're at. And it's basically that tired talk about this who people are familiar with. as far as Kanye West splitting the vote, that's very possible, man, because you have young voters who aren't very versed on politics who are just going to vote for a face. They see Kanye West, even if he doesn't make it as far as being a nomination, people are going to go in there and just write him in on some, I'm going to be Instagram famous and take a picture of myself doing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Good point.
We live in a weird time right now, so anything can happen. And him saying that, even if he doesn't make the ballot or whatnot, like I said, people can still write him in just off the strength of him saying that shit. And they said that there's somebody that actually declared or that they were going to run back in 2015 or something that applied, and it's under I can't remember the name, but it's Kanye something. I'm pretty sure it's not him, but I don't know. It's as a Kanye West fan, it's kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, it's
It's some
extra.
Kanye shit to do.
Yeah,
It's some Kanye shit to do.
Well, it's extra frustrating.
It's attention grabbing. And plus, look, I've said this on the show before. Kanye is a brilliant artist, but he's not really a smart person. And so, like, a lot of times people assign, intelligence to brilliance. And a lot of times it's two different parts of the brain. And that's where I'm at with Kanye West at this point. He's a brilliant artist and a designer, I guess, if you got all that money for shoes. But, as far as being a smart person, not particularly smart person.
Been there long.
I think he is smart though.
I'm
I actually
sorry.
think he is smart. Maybe not in terms of I don't know what angle you mean as far as he's not smart, but I think he is smart.
Well, I
and that
think
he knows what
because
he's
he just
doing.
thinks I want to run for president, so I'm going to run for president. And he doesn't want to, he doesn't understand there's paperwork and there's all this other stuff involved. But when one of your idols is Trump, I think that's just okay. I want to do something, so I'm going to do it, and that's fine with him.
He's actually, but he's actually come out
But
and
this is
said
the thing: the time that we're living in right now, him just saying that in itself is going to cause a ripple and a wave as it's done. And even if they come out and say, well, he can't vote or he can't run for presidency, people are still going to go in there and write him in the ballot just off the strength that he said the shit. And matter of fact, people are going to write other shit on the ballot too.
People are still going to vote
because.
for Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but
I don't know. We're just in a losing situation.
He said this though. He said this before over and over again about the one of the things that drew him to Trump was the fact that he felt like he could do anything. He's openly said that. It's like, I love that I'm paraphrasing here, but I love that he just attempts to do anything just because he's free and he has a free mind to do what he wants. And I'm just like, yo, you can't apply that logic to everything, man. Like it's not a fad to run for president. Like that's trash to me. Like it's become a thing now. Yeah, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna run for president. What?
Boosie running 2024.
Joy.
There you have it.
Also, when you look at,
they probably wouldn't let Boosie run because he's a felon.
Fuck that talk.
No, that'd probably be exactly why they let him run. By 2024, you just never know.
His chips fire though.
I want him to run as a Republican.
I don't like that.
That'd be brilliant.
But then again,
be brilliant.
I see a lot of, like I found out that Kanye's company got one of those PPP loans.
Yeah.
Between 2 and 5 million.
Yeah, but it's like, you're white, like, and this is where, like, a lot of times, like, maybe this is where as a household you need to get all on the same page. They're bragging about how they have these expensive horses, and they got 13 of them, and they cost $5,000 a month just just to feed and house. And it's like, all right, man, like this is where I feel like there's the brilliant part and then there's the smart part of his brain, and like the two sometimes don't match up, because I wouldn't brag about my my 15 or 13 horses or whatever, and how expensive they are, and like how, that there are these specialized horses, but then I'm accepting
money makes you
loans.
different.
Hey.
Money makes you different.
Just looks bad.
Like I know everybody on this show would have something, I wouldn't say necessarily bragging about, but everybody has something that they would probably do based off money. I bet you would have a closet full of purple label.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
don't get me wrong. I got my hockey jersey collection. I'm very much, everybody knows I like to stay fresh with my Ralph Lauren, but
Yeah.
But then if it came out that I got $200,000, from some government program, even though you saw me drop $300 on hockey jerseys, monthly, weekly, and daily, then like, of course, I feel like I should get a side eye.
Yeah, you should, but I mean, unfortunately, it's the American way. We do everything in excess. That's why when people hear the Bernie Sanders angle of socialism, they cringe, because it's like you're trying to cap my shit, but they don't realize the type of socialism that he's actually speaking on. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Karl Marx had his ideas.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Karl Marx's ideas were very vast. They wasn't just like what Lenin did, or or what China did. Like he had lots of ideas and all that stuff, and socialist ideas in general. We've said this many times on the show. Like, we have socialized stuff already in America. That's why we have firefighters and police departments and
that's
our roads.
You want to talk about the problem with socialism? The police. That's a socialist program.
Yeah. So let's not
reform.
But they don't want to defund the police. So that suggests that suggests something completely different. I hate to be the person of logic, but yeah. But anyways, me personally, with the Kanye thing, Kanye is no different than Trump to me. Outside of the fact that Kanye isn't a blatant bigot and racist. Outside of those things, as far as the spectacle is concerned, there's no difference. There's no difference to me. He's just as much a clown as Donald Trump is. I feel like the racist white people that are going to have a heyday with Kanye West, even though he's essentially the same thing of a Donald Trump. Like he's just
right.
So we got a reality TV star, and I guess technically Kanye's a reality TV star now too with the Kardashians. So I mean,
that talk.
Yeah, guilty by association.
It's just what it is. I'm not for it, man. It actually hurt me a little bit, and I'm not even a Kanye fan, so I know it hurt Kanye fans. So
yeah, I mean, I don't like the angle. I got a homie that's he definitely speaks his mind a whole lot, and he tends to side with a lot of people that I wouldn't necessarily side with, although I wouldn't say that he's a Candace Owens type person, but he agrees with her points from time to time. But he's all for this Trump shit. I mean, not Trump, but Kanye West shit, and actually went live talking about it. Like,
what was the logic? Like, what was?
I mean, I didn't even watch it, man, because as a Kanye West fan, all right, so he used the angle saying that everybody says anybody but Trump,
right?
And then when Kanye says he wants to run, and everybody's like, but nah, I can't vote for him. The issue with it is you have to have a plan. You can't come in here and tell me that Kanye has a plan just from what he's been saying. Everybody's been having conversations, but to be a president, you have to actually have a plan. Even Trump had some he was planned on doing. Obviously, that's not going to happen with the wall
Right.
or whatnot. That's still there. There hasn't even been any ground broken for that shit, and that's one of his main speaking points.
They
was
worked on
building
it
this damn
some.
wall.
They did work on it some, but
What they do? Put up a barbed wire fence or
yeah,
them little orange construction joints?
a serious barbed wire fence. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it probably ain't nothing different than what was already there.
yeah.
You know what I'm
No, it
saying?
really wasn't.
And that was one
Nah,
of his biggest
right.
speaking points to get him elected. So
For sure.
I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't understand why he would do some shit like this, especially considering
Part of a
Kanye.
rollout.
I think it's about an album. I think to Jay Moore's point, what he just said, I just really think it's about.
I mean, the
It's about
thing
the
about
album.
it is, it might be, but Kanye has enough pull to where he doesn't have to say he's gonna run for president to pull in album sales.
Yeah.
But you
I mean,
also,
has that.
but you,
He has the album. He has clothes. He just got to deal with 𝐀𝐄𝐃𝐒. I mean, he's married to Kim Kardashian. I mean, he doesn't need to say, "I'm running for president to sell albums."
Right.
the reason I disagree with that is because you just said how smart he is. So he knows that would only add to the sauce. Him saying that. Me, it's not a need. I don't think I'm with you on the need, but I'm saying you talked about how smart he is. I think he knows that adds to the sauce. He says that. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't very responsible, so to speak.
No.
That shit is not responsible at all. And running for president is not something you can just do for 2 or 3 months and then be like, you know what, I'm cool. Just get back to clothing and build my clothing empire and doing music and all that. Like, come on, man. Like,
He on some 𝐀𝐿 shit right now.
let's be
I think
serious.
that's what Donald Trump thought. I think Donald Trump thought being president was going to be a lot more fun, and that's why he's frustrated all the time.
I don't even think he thought he
And
was going to
upset.
win. I don't think he thought he was going to win.
No,
I think what it is with him is his ego. It seemed like something that was going to stroke his ego, so he decided he was going to do it. And now he wants to figure out a way to make himself seem like he's the greatest president ever that's been elected, and his followers are following suit. So he's pretty smart too. As dumb as he is, he's fucking smart, brilliant.
I'm just waiting to the White House.
Look, he contested the results of an election he won. So I think what's really going to be interesting, say the Democrats don't find a way to completely screw this up and Joe Biden winds up winning the presidency. It's going to be interesting because I don't see Donald Trump just giving up and leaving the White House.
Oh, no. Nah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
He'll go kicking, scratching, and crawling if it were to happen. Like, it's gonna be fake this and rig that and hoax this and they have to get me that, and there's no way he would just ride out. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be it'll be a whole bunch of foolishness associated with that. We know that.
Man, we'll know this time next year what happened.
What do you guys
If
think
we
about
can
the
make it to this time next year?
right? Who knows? We're still in July for 2020. We don't know what's going to happen for the rest of this month.
Right.
You know.
It's a
But
fact.
what do you guys think about the
This
idea?
month can be a long ass year.
It could be. What do you think about the idea that I've seen people say that everything Kanye's been doing for the last 10 years has been building up to this point? You know, like the Trump stuff and him liking Trump was intentional, and the church stuff is intentional. All of it is intentional so that he can garner support in different areas, so he could actually run for president. What do you think about that?
Oh, here's my thing.
It's a possibility.
In terms of that, like, I think I guess there's a possibility, but I heard people say that I have a pocket of what you said. In terms of I'm really just getting with Trump so that he could get people out of jail. I heard that one. Really didn't. He really doesn't rock with Trump. It was just to with prison reform and get people out of jail. Then there are other people, along to your point, that was like all of this has been a setup just so he can be taken seriously, to run a president. I don't think I believe that, because I don't think his
What was
attention.
my guy in Chicago? What's old dude in Chicago that's on a spaceship? What's his name?
GLC.
GLC. Yeah, it was some saying that he gave him his box of Make America Great Again hats and said he wasn't going to be on that shit, and it was all a ploy or something to that nature. I don't know how true that shit was, though.
I mean, they close, so that's what he said. And I guess that's what he said. But I just don't think his he's building an empire with his Yeezy brand and his clothing. He's always talked about how important that is for the clothing. I just don't see him being serious enough to actually do this. Like, the fact that you've missed the deadline in multiple states lets me know this is not about running for president, in my opinion. This is about attention and going towards album promotion. Like, he's always said he was going to do this. I'm not shocked about him even saying it, honestly. He always said he would do it, but I just think it's more to a rollout. Something else is going to be popped up or presented down the road. Like, I don't think it's been, necessarily an executed or well executed or thought out plan to be taken serious. I don't know about that.
He also can't sell anything if he were to make it in office as well.
He talk that talk right there.
He's not able to sell anything, so that's his main objective was to be on
find a way around it, just like Trump has.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he would, but as an artistic person like Kanye, him not being able to get out his shit and take claim for it is probably going to bother.
That bother him 100%.
I don't know. He's a man of Jesus.
He couldn't take that.
He's a man of Jesus right now.
He's a what?
He's a man of Jesus. I don't care about that.
Like I said, I just hope that's not a trend he jumped on. I think I said that when he first declared himself, and if it's true, like I don't want to criticize him in his religious beliefs. I would never do that. But my whole concern was I didn't want being a Christian to be pink polos and and having like Louis Vuitton bags. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden, like, and then when he's done with it in a couple of years, he's back to doing something else.
Right.
Like, because that would be an insult to the spiritual community. And so, like, that's where I was. That was where my concern. He seems to be sincere about it. I hope he is. But like
Mace
I said,
was his favorite rapper.
I mean, there's old interviews of Kanye. There's old interviews of Kanye. You stupid for that Mace comment, by the way.
I'm just telling the truth. Mace pulled I'm gonna do this church thing for a minute and try to jump back in, right?
Did, but interviews, you can go back and watch interviews with Kanye talking about God and his spirituality and folks and all that type of stuff. So there's history to that, but
his first single that he won a Grammy off of was Jesus Walk. So I mean, I give him that.
Yeah.
Not the Ron Fest. But,
definitely the guy who actually wrote it.
Yeah, shout out to Ron Fest, but hey, Lone's Lone's laugh was a producer laugh on the low when he laughed right there. Anyway, man, as I say, oh yeah, that's we've seen elements of that. So okay, the presidency part, I still think it's 100% rollout. Do not take that serious, and I won't even really engage in a conversation because each time I see someone say, "Oh, I'll vote for him," just easy like that really bothers me. So,
it's a whole lot of people saying it too.
I just keep it moving on that. Like, I ain't gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue.
That to the comment, that's an interesting point too. I mean, he is bipolar too, right?
Takes medicine for it. Yeah, takes medicine for it.
That's an interesting point. Do we have any type of do we have stipulations about mental health and such like that for presidency?
Clearly not.
Well, I mean,
no. I mean, Trump's in office.
Well, he's got great doctors, and they're all great, and he's in perfect health. So,
and nobody around him has the virus, and everything is fine, and everything is great, and everything's leveled off, and nothing is peaking, and you don't need to wear a mask, and out of Florida and kick it. You straight, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no,
Very
man.
interesting. We'll see how this unfolds.
Yeah.
I think there's a major rollout for something, and it's going to be merch, music related, and something like that, show related, concert related, small gathering related.
It's gonna start a
it'll
mega
be
church.
one of those things.
It's gonna
Do that.
Comment says, "Would you vote Gucci Mane for president?" Nah, I think I'm cool on that.
I'm cool
We
on
had
that
an
as well.
episode where we discussed who our cabinet would be if we were to nominate any hip hop artists as presidents. I think mine was Killer Mike with the vice president of David Banner.
I think I had Mike and
the same with but you had Common as VP.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I think so. Yeah.
I think mine was. Did I say Common? David Banner in Common or Killer Mike in Common?
Well, you might have said.
Remember, I was talking about because I was talking about the balance. You were more. Yours was more. In your face. When you get Killer Mike and David Banner, there is no balance. It's like we on your ass, straight out the gate.
Well, that was just president, vice president, but Common was in my cabinet along with Jay-Z.
Got you. Okay.
And Queen Latifah.
Do you not like Queen Latifah?
Little Pump.
Latifah's the truth.
Little Pump.
Show your melons. Just got the chat lit. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. All right.
A lot of
let's
swamp
see.
ass going on.
A lot of swamp ass. We see you in there. I think I saw my boy 𝗡𝗲𝗄 in there too. I don't know if he's still in there, but
definitely.
Shouts to the Flood 21 as well.
The Flood 21. We see you. I'm looking up here now. Secret Service will walk him out. Oh, that's what we were talking about. If he got out of there, we appreciate y'all in the chat. The usual suspects aren't in here. I don't think. I think E's still in here, but we appreciate all the new people popping in and rocking with us. All right, let's shout out some of our partners real quick while we have a quick break. Let's see. Shout out to Printfinity. That is Jay Diff's company. They do a lot of custom work, masks. If you could, brother, could you hold up one of those for me real quick so they can see the merch there? That is a Printfinity exclusive.
Okay.
He makes those. Got his own personal logo. That man owns that company. So support entrepreneurs out there. That mug as well, and also the T-shirt. The Printfinity merch. So my boy over there doing this thing.
Yeah, this is some of the best artists still. So
yes,
I would say, I would classify myself as an artist. So I kind of stole this. This isn't for sale. This is just personal. It
actually bothers me that it's just for you. That's made me mad over July 4th, but it's cool though. I'm not a hater. Shout out to NDCD and Vinyl. We appreciate them as always. They take care of us for our wax, for our raffles. Whenever we've raffled off anything, we've had autographed albums. They really take care of us. Double albums, they lace us all the time. So salute to them. Sun King Brewery is our newest partner. Now wait to expand on this partnership once everything, Lord willing, opens up. I think Lone's got a can. There we go. We really appreciate them. No Bad Ideas, one of our longest partnerships. That is a hat. They have backpacks, wallets, T-shirts. They only send alone. A lot of exclusive material.
Socks
as well. Yeah, they keep us laced, keep us fresh. I have a assortment of those hats as well, which I wear a lot. So I really appreciate them. We really appreciate them in their partnership.
Yep.
Bringing down the band as always is the hub for everything new old heads. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube. Find Bringing Down the Band. Subscribe. Hit the bell for notification. We need y'all to jump in on this Twitch movement as well. So please come on over, subscribe, join the squad, hop in the chat. We got some things planned for different rooms. We can kind of that stuff is coming up with this. We're really trying to get on this Twitch movement. So we need y'all to sign up so we can grow and expand. Discord as well. Discord is where we are podcasting on right now. You can jump on that as well and follow us there. So follow. We appreciate everybody that's rocking with us thus far and continue to support us on the movement.
Did you shout out Dr. Coleman?
Dr. Coleman. Sometimes I forget Dr. Coleman.
You forgot him last week. Forgot him last week too.
Brian Ripple. His teeth is right. He's a very fine dentist. Actually need to get it's about time for me here in a little bit. I'm gonna tell him Lone sent me, see what that get me.
That'll get me.
You
That'll
need
get
to
me a
get
little.
some-
That'll get me a little referral. I like it. Go ahead, do that.
Don't do that, Terry. Don't do that. All right, so let's. You a hater. Let's jump
Hey, show
into.
your melons. Go ahead and join the. You should go ahead and join the raffle. We will not be raffling off any Killian. You have expensive taste, sir.
Yeah, about that, brother.
We won't be doing that.
We might be able to get you something, but I don't know about that. We still appreciate
be
you getting
killing
chat
you, sir.
popping. Won't be that though. Ain't quite there yet. Let's see. Let's talk about Janelle Monae. Did you guys see her comments on Twitter?
I saw she had a comment, but that's all I saw.
Yeah, I seen it briefly. I didn't really jump into it.
I can learn to understand.
Comments from her on Twitter as it relates to misogyny in hip hop. Read those to you. Let me see what you guys think. It says, I really only ever want to hear women rapping. The amount of misogyny from most of the men in rap and music is infuriating. You need to abolish that shit too. I can't wait to call women every bitch, hoe, discuss violent acts against women, etc. for clout and rap, rock throughout the music history. Misogyny never been okay, yet it has become normalized. And didn't create misogyny, y'all did. So do the work to abolish it. So she's basically mad at hip hop as a whole because of this. It sounds like if it's not women rapping, she's pretty much wanted hip hop to be a rap. So,
But you were signed to Purple. What was it? What
Ribbon
was Big
All-Stars.
Boy's label?
for Ribbon.
Purple label
Ribbon
All
All-Stars.
Stars. Purple
And
Ribbon.
then you were signed to Bad Boy.
So here's my thing.
So,
Here's my thing. I'm coming along first. We're all embedded in the culture in some way as it relates to hip hop. We all, whether it be through DJing or the MC route, producing, songwriting, etc.
Right.
We know a lot of people that are embedded in the culture, and also you benefit from that. However you want to quantify or qualify that, that's on you. But we've been a part of this for a long time. Sometimes we have conversations about rap and stuff comes up, and you feel passionate about it because you are embedded in it. Let me ask you this, Lone. The standpoint of what she's saying, how did that initially make you feel as a person that is embedded in hip hop? How did that make you feel when I initially read those two comments? From a standpoint of a person that's really been involved with the game for a long time at a high level.
I mean, you also have to understand that I'm a white guy in hip hop, so I fully understand the guest role, if you will. It didn't really faze me at all. Like, I understand where she's coming from. I mean, misogyny has been a part of everything for a very long time. It's embedded into the culture of it's embedded into the culture of just the United States and humanity. You know what I mean? So it's so much bigger than that.
grab him by the pussy.
Exactly.
She actually said that too. Corporate and destruction. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's just kind of my. I feel like her anger is valid. It's not realistic that it's going to happen. So at that point, it's kind of like, well, I understand what you're saying, but let's try to actually actively address it, maybe, or how can let me say this way: what's a better way that we can pose to address things to where actual change is actually a part of the culture of America, of humanity in general, as opposed to just to attempt to destroy something, or not even attempt to destroy, just to suggest such when we know it's not going to happen. The patriarchy is white men and then men in general. So, so it is what it is. But it can change, And last week we talked about the boycott rhyme sayers stuff that's going on in Minneapolis and so forth. But and things are changing. They're changing slowly, just like racism in America is changing. It's changing slowly. It's not fast enough, but I don't expect it to just go anywhere. And you're gonna be hard pressed to see people step out of the way. just because, you know. Did she say the genre in general should go away, or did she just say music in general? Because
I pulled a couple quotes from what I saw. This is geared not just music, just like I think it's more towards the genre of hip hop itself. I'm trying to see if I can find. I'll see if I can find any more as you guys go around. But I think this was just specific to rap, you know, and how I'm gonna portray it in rap. Diff, jump in.
That's just interesting from her point of view, being signed to 2 hip hop labels. You know what I'm saying? From her beginning, having hip hop artists featured on her tracks or whatnot.
She's
actually
dope.
rapping on tracks. Yeah, she's very dope. I don't put anything past her on that, and I definitely believe that the tides have turned. Where, I mean, although it is misogyny does exist in hip hop, it's not as bad as it was at one point. I'll say that definitely.
Well, there's more representation.
But it's definitely better representation. But the women in hip hop call themselves that. So if you're saying you only listen to women in hip hop, Meg Thee Stallion is talking about how she's driving the boat and doing all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? She's a savage.
Quick point, Terry, real quick. Point, I'm coming right back to you. It says on the top, it says Janelle Monae rants against sexism in music, religion, and other institutions. That tweet did mention, however, rapping when she said she only wanted to hear women rapping. Just to clear that up. My bad. Go ahead.
She said she only wanted to hear women rapping.
That was in reference to the tweet I read. So that's the part that, you know, that's why I applied it to hip hop, because hip hop is rap. So she would only want to hear women rapping.
So she's really just kind of talking about what she wants to hear then, right?
Yeah, I think that's, as I read more into it and read the tweets, she's coming at it. It's definitely from her angle, but it's broad. It's covering a lot. So
yeah, that doesn't. I mean, then at that point, I fully agree with, you know, her choice. You know.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own particular choice in the style of rap or hip hop they want to listen to. Some people like Backpack. Does Backpack really still exist though? I mean,
it's like boom bap. It's always going to be there.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on that, man.
You know what I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at with that one. But I mean, everybody
we
likes different styles of rap music or whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't want to listen to women rap. Period.
True.
You know
That's
what I'm
very
saying?
True.
That's a misogynistic point of view. If you just don't want to listen to
it
women,
is, but shit, women will tell you that.
Yeah.
Some women will tell you that.
That's fair.
But even with this, see, I kind of look at it like, well, you know, like a lot of people who have criticism of the genre of hip hop, a lot of times everything is focused through the prism of what they see on TV and what comes on the radio. And if you're so concerned with misogyny in hip hop, if you did enough work and actually went through and actually were a fan of hip hop like I am and we are, you can listen to hip hop where that's not the male focus of a certain MC. You know, if you listen to the radio, yeah, you probably think, yeah, this is just whatever, go to the club, go to the strip club. I said this on Twitter, I guess about a week ago. I said, unfortunately, popular black culture, when I think about what's played in the club and what you hear on the radio, is all a fantasy. It doesn't actually reflect black life. And I think that may be where her frustration comes from, because I have a certain frustration with that. But you know what I do? I don't listen to the radio. I don't really watch what's presented through prison, you know, whatever. I mean, there's not a lot of hip hop on TV, really. You know, there's no videos or anything shown unless you got the good cable. But you know, when she makes these criticisms, and she says and then what kills me is when she says she only wants to listen to female rappers. I'd love to know the female rappers that she's listening to, because if she's going through the prism of mainstream, like,
Yeah.
I know misogyny isn't the word that you would use for what is popular as far as the females who've broken through, but like all I hear from female MCs on the radio, I'm just talking about on the radio, and the ones, because once again I'm still in the club, you know, all I hear from Megan, who's pretty much the one who's running it right now, is eat my pussy and buy me things. You know, and if she has some more diverse and complicated content than that, then please let me know. But like, that's all I hear from her.
But
you
at
know,
the
I think
same,
she's talented. She seems like a nice person, but like, you know, like as far as saying, oh, I only listen to female artists, maybe there's some female artists you're talking about that I'm not, that aren't mainstream, and hope I wish you would have shined the light onto those particular women. But if you're talking about I only want to listen to the women who are out here doing it right now, their content is I think even more damaging than anything these dudes put out, because then women feel in a strange way empowered by ratchet behavior.
I mean,
so,
you know, I mean, people are inspired, like, the age group standpoint, we all have, you know, nieces and nephews, little cousins or whatever. And your point about inspiration, when you think about Cardi B, you think about I know Meg Thee Stallion's pretty much running it right now. Like, they have a huge reach, power, and influence over like the youth. Just like when we were kids coming up, there were artists that we looked up to or whatever, at certain, you know, a certain reach and effect on us. But a point, like, people were like, there are people that really love that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's everywhere. Like, I got people in, you know, my media family that just love everything she do. You know what I'm saying? So it's and there's so many sides to it, man. Like you said, some people want to hear, some people don't. Go ahead, Long. I'm sorry.
But at the same, no, you're good. But at the same time, like, you know, we also have to understand the women that are in hip hop. The reason why, I'm not going to say 100%, but women are not dumb. They know what sells. They know how to make themselves
100%.
fit into the current hip hop stratosphere that we're in, you know. And shouts to Poppy Hamona in the comments, because he says,
don't do it.
well, he said as long as labels have the power, they will control the narrative. Okay, Rhapsody and a handful of others, yes. But if we're talking about the
Rhapsody wasn't even nominated for Best Rapper at the BET Awards. They let her rap at the beginning of the show, but when it was time to give an award out, look at who they nominated.
Yeah, so that's part of the point. Though. You know, it's just
I think that's what he's saying. Yeah,
that kind of goes to my point, though. So, you know, yeah, I think it's more contextual than that. I think, and it's not as simple as just, you know, stop. I don't know. It's kind of, to me, it kind of feels a little bit like victim blaming in a sense. I mean, not quite exactly, because, you know, what's the victim
blaming?
Yeah, like you've never heard of victim blaming before?
I want to make sure I heard you right.
Yeah, victim blaming. Sorry. It's not quite the same, but that's the best comparison that I can kind of think of, you know, because you know, when you think about like who holds the power, and I always refer to everything to, but it's always an easy analogy for me, these types of things, because I can relate it to how I understand how race moves in the country, right? And the power structures. So if I look at the power structures of men and women in hip hop, you know, I'm more inclined to have something to say about how the men can control to put women in positions of power, more so than blame a woman who is just grabbing onto whatever they can to get, you know, to have that power. So yeah, that's all I was going to say on that. So,
well, LeBron, if you think about what LeBron did, you know, the NBA is trying to come back, and you know, he and the company with Maverick Carter and Rich Paul and all those guys, Spring Hill, they had a deal that they just signed. They company, a multi-million dollar company. Multi-million dollar deal for film project, and Brian released some of the numbers, and he said 40% of the employees for his company for these projects will be women. That's them stepping up to the plate to say, "Yo, we're trying to diversify our employees." Like, it's going to take more. To Lone's point, it's going to take more stuff like that, like people in the position to hire, that have the power, that have the leverage. Say, "Yo, I want 25 or 35% of my employees to be women." And it goes into, you can break it down into minorities or however you want to do it, but it's the power play. It's the people that are the decision makers that may be able to, I want to say expedite, but be helped to change a little bit faster.
For sure. Yeah, and I think it needs to happen in a wide variety, or in a major way across planes if things are really going to change. There's a lot that needs to happen. Let's just be frank.
Sure.
And so it's not something that's going to happen overnight. And, hopefully conversations like this help, not only everybody else like start to change, but also ourselves, and our internalized whatevers you want to call them. You know what I mean? So, but.
So.
Oh. No, and the thing is, like, I don't, and there'll probably be some young ladies who listen to this and I have no problem being told I've been mansplaining.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
if that's what's happened, then like it is what it is, but I just think that it's all, I hate that sometimes hip hop is made such an easy target when it's like, it's like, hey, you work in Hollywood. You can't tell me that you haven't seen a certain, I know she sort of addressed it. That you can't
she
say
did
that
go outside of music.
Yeah, a certain level of, just misogyny in Hollywood. Misogyny in corporate America. Shoot, misogyny in the church. You know what I'm saying? There's still places. I'll never forget when I was working at WFYI. Like, I was trying to tell somebody what channel we were on, and this guy was like, "Well, sir, I'll be honest. I don't care much for lady preachers." Like, it was one of the funniest things to me, because I was like, "Sir, I think you're looking at the wrong channel. We don't have any lady preachers on PBS."
I'm saying lady preachers.
Yeah, but there's some people. I know people personally, like, they don't like, they go to churches where women cannot step in the pulpit. It doesn't matter what their message is. So, like, there's I mean, like I said, it's
you ain't gonna tell Shirley Caesar that. I'll tell Shirley Caesar that.
She got pipes.
Bet that.
Well, because she's singing. Like, it depends. Like, if you want to stand flat-footed. No, seriously, if you want to stand flat-footed as a woman and deliver a message and not be singing, there's a lot of churches that are just not going to have that.
Believe you.
You didn't see the Clark Sisters movie?
First of all, don't do that.
I'm serious. You didn't see the Clark Sisters movie?
I thought you were trying to
play. I
only
saw like maybe the first 30 minutes. I got to watch the rest of it.
You see how they played her mama? With their mama?
I didn't see it yet. Don't tell me. Tell me yet. I ain't seen it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I got to check it out.
Oh, you like the Clark Sisters?
Okay, yeah, I need to check that out. Huh?
As long do you like the Clark Sisters?
Sure. Hey Jay, you got a fan, man. Johnny Crismell is a fan of yours. Shouts to Johnny Crismell in the comments.
See.
So
okay, we'll take the fans. Anybody who wants to jump in and get involved with what we're doing here, we appreciate it.
Take it. We'll take it. Yes, sir. All right.
You say you're special. I think you might want your number.
Right corner. Let's read it. So, right corner, man. You are definitely someone special. Never seen someone so calm and cool. All right.
Well, I'm I don't have any dark liquor tonight, so like I'm pretty calm and cool.
Okay. Come back next week when you can see him. You might have some of that all. Then we'll really.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to 𝐀𝐄𝐃. I see she in the chat.
What's up,
I got my
𝐀𝐄𝐃?
Johnny Walker.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Time to squeeze one more in. I'll throw this out to you. I was about to say I was gonna throw it out to y'all. Pusha T. Let's see. Put this down or type this down. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So I was having a discussion. I believe I saw this on 𝐾 discussing his Grammy nomination, his life during quarantine, and more. But I had a couple comments that I thought I got hype off the second one, but he said right now I only care about my discography. And he said for me, it's about doing this to the level where I think I'm adding to my legacy. It says that he's adding to a really good discography, and gave updates on a forthcoming album with Madlib. He's funneling me all different types of chops, samples, and stuff. Taking our time, I'm crafting and writing to some of them. It's a bucket list thing for me. The fact that we're in contact and everything is good, I see that happening. I can't put a date on it. I'm definitely on it. So, nerd in me is very excited about the possibility of pushing Madlib. I actually also like the fact that he cares about his discography. Like, it's not about the charts or chasing this or that. It's like I want to have a consistent and long historical body of work, like a body of work that's cold in rap history. What do you guys feel about the possibility of a project with Pusha and Madlib? Like, to me, Madlib collabs with an MC of that level. Just don't know how that can go wrong. Just don't see how it can go wrong. Long, you said it's great. The possibility is great.
It's great. That's the reason why I shared that article, because it was like 10 years ago, I would have never thought Madlib and Pusha T would be doing a project together. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird to think about. Like, even when Freddie Gibbs and Madlib worked together, it was like, what? You know, like, you just couldn't fuse the idea. Like, Gangsta Gibbs from Gary, Indiana, and Madlib, you know, the beat conductor, like the guy who chops up obscure records, and you know, it was just crazy. So I think it's a great, like, I you know, to your point about the excitement about his Discogs, caring about that stuff, that's cool. But I think Pusha's got a good Discog. I think it's just evident. I think it's evident that he does care about that.
Right.
But the idea of Madlib and Pusha, that's dope. Makes me wonder, like, man, like, if we have these mainstream artists coming out working with, like, the underground kings of production, like, what is that suggesting for the future of certain levels of hip hop? You know, and it's a really kind of a cool thing to think about, to be honest. So,
well, I think part of it is, here we are in a situation, and I think LP and Killer Mike showed a lot of MCs the way. Look, you can get out here, I mean, before Corona hit, and really be extremely successful on the road and have a connection with your fans. And, you know, I don't think I've ever heard a Run the Jewels song on the radio. A lot of, like, rappers, I think they're to say, yo, I'm really going to get into this artistic bag and do what I feel, because me being on the radio is not going to make or break me. At one point, it was called radio and records. There was a symbiotic relationship there. That no longer exists, because there essentially are no records. You know, there is no retail. Everything is streamed. So you might as well do what you want, because if you're just chasing radio hits, there are people who are chasing radio hits that can't get 100 people to come see him at a show. You know, but it was a packed house when I went to go see Rhapsody and Big Crit. You know, so I think there is another. I think what it says now is, like, a lot of MCs have found a way to actually connect with an audience that will stream their music, that will pay to see them in concert, and those people are not calling the radio station saying, "Hey, can I hear, you know, Freddie Gibbs or whoever?" The relevance of you being a radio artist is not the same as it was, and it's not something that you should chase anymore.
The gatekeepers have been removed in that aspect, you know, which is 100%.
100%.
That was evident as well back in when you talk about a Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan is arguably one of the most recognized hip hop groups of all time that never were popular on the radio. You know what I'm saying? But as far as Pusha T and Madlib doing a joint album, I mean, that's key. That the collaboration between Gibbs and Madlib exposed Gibbs to a whole nother audience. You know what I'm saying? So he already had his base, where I don't know what you would classify him as, even if we were to say street.
You
added Madlib, which which gave him the backpack
Unquote.
underground appeal. So now you have both because it's still the same content, but
Right.
it's back behind a different style of production. It's kind of similar to when 𝗏𝐀𝐄 𝐢𝐻 went and picked up Dilla. Essentially, I mean, you can classify 𝗏𝐀𝐄 𝐢𝐻 as a backpack or whatever the hell you want to classify them as, but they were a mainstream rap group at the time, and they picked up Dilla, who was somebody who I think Q-Tip was handed a tape at one point in time and was like, "Who is this producing these beats?"
Yeah.
And decided he wanted to work with him. So I don't think it's something new necessarily that's happening, but it definitely is something that's that I like to see, especially
think the
with
new- I
mainstream
think-
artists going with it.
I think the new part, I guess, for me, what's different about it now is, I guess how it's being received. Because, like Lone said, the first Gibbs and Madlib, I was very curious to hear how that would work, just because of who they were, and it went from that to him and Currency with Alchemist. Like, I think the wave, Gibbs has been associated with that in terms from the wave standpoint, and he's been one of the ones that's done it highest level. But I want to see if other people, like Lone said, if other people, Pusha would be a good example of that. The wave can continue and go outside of what Gibbs and Alchemist and saying what Madlib do, because
Well, you
there
can't
are
even
other
necessarily classify Alchemist as. Do you still classify him as an underground producer though? Because I mean, he had a lot of mainstream.
As a producer,
success.
depending on who you ask.
as a producer, I would say
What's
yes.
that?
Who you
as
ask.
as a producer, I would say yes, because he never lost the essence of what he's done. You know, same with Jake One. Like they have big records, but they've never changed who they are. You know, and they're not like DJ Mustards or, you know, like huge names like that. You know, like Alchemist has always
I mean, he
continued
had
to
50
do,
Cent tracks though.
but he's never changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but
and he's always
They were
been
never
rooted.
singles.
He's always been rooted in the underground. You know, I think that's really kind of the clutch. Even Gibbs said it on the interview with Bootleg Kev, where he's like, he didn't even know of. He said he didn't even really know of Madlib or Alchemist. I think he at least Madlib. Like when he
Madlib
started
for sure.
when he started working with them, and when you think about that, like how big Madlib was in 2011, like that's really kind of crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
especially from a Block point of view.
yeah. But
And
I don't ever
with
think
the
I don't
Alchemist, like,
I don't think he's ever been that big. I think, you know, like Metro Boomin or anything like that, you know,
the Alchemist.
He's
The
worked with
Alchemist
big
is
artists though.
for sure.
he's definitely worked with big artists, but he's the guy that, like, the Alchemist is the guy that all of the guys that are the quote unquote mainstream producers say they love. Everybody knows about him. Like his legendary status is like certified. I would call him
I mean, Mobb Deep.
Shit,
like-
he announced today that he's going to put out like an LP with Boldy James. So another one, like he's stays
Wow.
working. So at least I think it was Boldy James. I have to double check that, but
that's the case. Like I'm excited for that. Like whatever comes from him and Push, like that's another one where I'm like, okay, I want to see how this works. I'm saying I'm very curious to see how it works, and I know, short on time here. I know Jay Diff. You said you mentioned Pop Smoke's album. We talked about the artwork last week. Did you see the part about? I think somebody put it in the chat about there's a joint that's on the deluxe where they say he's dissing Drake, but Drake made some calls around saying that they didn't
Pusha
want
T.
that. Yeah, Pusha T was dissing Drake on a verse. And I guess Drake was making some calls out to have that not come out, which is weird for me because he's always the tough guy on the battles, but now you making calls to have a record not come out. Why are these dudes
It's
still
so personal.
like? But why are these dudes still doing this? Like I thought after the last one this will be over with and we're gonna keep it moving, but why is it still happening?
As a Pusha T fan, you got to kind of put that on him if he got on a track and said some shit about Drake. I mean, this is hip hop. It's a sport at the end of the day.
Think so.
So if you ain't gonna respond back, why are you trying to stop shit? but evidently, Young Thug must have took offense to the verse being on the song or something, saying he didn't have anything to do with it. If I read that correctly.
And Pusha T was just like, I don't even care. I'm paraphrasing here, but you the last person I need to get approval from or peace from or watch for. Like, I'm cool. Like, he's right. Like, who cares what dude says in terms of that? I mean, I'm just curious about like these subliminals. They say Drake is a subliminal king. He always throwing subliminals. Pusha said that. Been subliminals here, subliminals there, but at the same time, you calling trying to get a record not put out. That's a little confusing, but well.
That's kind of weak, man. Either you gonna respond, because I mean, you can't keep going to sit down on LeBron James' show and talk about it in the barbershop. If you really want to be, if you really want to be and I'll fuck with Drake, man. But if you really want to be a hip hop artist, and that's how you feel, and you feel slighted that he came at your guy 40 a certain type of way, then say something about it, man. I mean, stop punking out, so to speak.
Say like a man with your face.
Yeah,
I knew
it was up.
Hey, at the end of the day, Drake is smart too. Don't get it twisted. He got something that's about to come out as well. So, no, there are steps to it, and I think he might be.
Well, yeah, Pusha T got something supposed to come out. Drake got something supposed to come out. Kanye got something supposed to come out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna see what this last quarter do. Because that Drake album, if I'm right, a lot of people when the last Drake album came out with Tootsie Slide on it, they was talking about how good it was. This is what I'm tripping on this year. I can't even really say just this year. All right, so we got an album from I'm gonna say this artist, Jay Electronica. Remember that week when that album came out? How good that album was.
It seemed like it came out a year ago.
To some people.
To some people, yep.
I haven't heard anybody speak, utter, mention nothing about that album since then. It's almost like as soon as an album drops, and that was before the quarantine started. So you can't blame it on COVID.
Right.
The Drake shit came out in the heat of COVID, and people were loving it. You know what I'm saying? For that first week or two. Yeah, a lot of TikTok videos.
that was the power of. That's why when
but
people
that's just one single.
Understand.
That's one single. Even the people that didn't mess with TikTok was talking about how good this album was. I mean, it was okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it wasn't getting traction like that Pusha T album. Not Pusha T, that Gibbs album. That Griselda, what was the one that came out before?
What was Machine Gun do? I believe. So what was Machine Gun do?
That one came out last year. So that was still tracking. That was still tracking. That came out last. Yeah, Pray for Paris.
For Paris, yeah.
I think Pray for Paris had more staying power than Jay Electronica and that Drake album.
Yeah, I think so too.
I know I've listened to it more, but you know, it might be skewed as far as you just never know.
I mean, that joint with Joey Badass and Tyler the Creator is so tough, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I forget what it's called, but it's and Tyler's
been popping up on everybody's stuff with bars though. Like he was on that.
He been snapping on everybody's shit too.
Yeah,
he been snapping.
And I'm glad I came home on Young Fella. He's dope. He's a talented musician. He's talented. He can spit. I'm a fan.
But you know what? I still haven't listened to that last full album he put out.
I haven't either.
Didn't like it.
The one that won a Grammy. I still haven't listened.
Igor?
to
Flower Boy.
Igor.
Nah, Igor. Yeah, you're right.
You still haven't listened to Igor?
I still haven't. No, it's funny because we actually gave that record away on our Patreon. Shouts to Metronome. He won it. I still
curious to hear.
I still need to. I do want to listen to it. I'm gonna burn myself an MP3 CD, put it in my car, and listen to it. I'm very curious to hear what you think, especially from a production standpoint. What you think about Igor? Like, I want to talk to you about that once you hear it because I like it. I really liked it. Musically, I liked it a lot. Yep. Need to.
I think that's gonna do it. for this episode. Is there anything I've missed? Anybody got anything popping in the chat? Let's see.
No, stick
It's
around
called
for
Paranoid.
hey, just
Paranoid.
stick around for the post show. But
Good.
nah,
Good.
you know,
Okay.
he
Appreciate
won
everybody that's been in it.
yeah, Abe. He actually won 2 records. We raffled off 4 of them. He won 2 of them.
Said, of course, for him mention no money. Yeah.
All right.
That's going to pretty much do it for this episode for the entire crew. I am Major 7th. Again, make sure you go to the band on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Also follow us on Twitch and Discord so you can stay in the loop with all the new things that we are prepared to roll out. And as always, we appreciate the support. See y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.
In a minute.